Welcome to my Plant Chronomancer setup guide. Turns out I did have one more character in me for this league. I always end up playing a Sork of some kind. Chronomancer is the only one I hadn't checked out yet, so I finally decided to check it out, along with Plant Magic, something else I hadn't really had a chance to check out yet. So here's an Entangled Thrashing Vines Chronomancer. It is a very, very powerful build. It's very, very, very safe. I mean, I genuinely haven't died in like 2 levels, and I'm level 97, so it's been a while. It's got a lot going on to it, so let's get into it. First things first, the reason we went Chronomancer is, honestly, like I said, I hadn't checked it out yet, and there's a couple fun things they did. They completely respec'd it in 0.5 League, like her entire Ascension tree. Inevitable Agony is really fun. What it's doing is basically doubling our damage while this affects on enemies. Just a little rune we can put on the ground, and it gives them like a little, kind of like light purple part of their health bar, and all the damage we do is being added to that, and if that is enough to totally kill them, it just will, an instant call. It's pretty cool. Sands of Time is just making us, it is this little passive. It's kind of funny. It's the reason the numbers on my skill sheet are constantly bouncing up and down, because it's switching us between increased skill speed and increased area of effect. They scale all the way up to 60% and down to 1%, and the two of them flip-flop. It sounds a little inconsistent, but overall you're just getting more skill speed and area of effect in general, no matter what. So it's kind of nice, although it does make tracking your numbers a little annoying. Phased Form is really cool. What it does is we just straight up take 30% less damage from initial hits, and then of that damage we take, 4 seconds later we get another rest of it, like over time. Which is kind of nice because if you get your energy shield to under that 4-second window, whoops, you can see I'm at 3.28. Your energy shield will start recharging before you get hit again. You can also use your Temporal Rift, or the last thing I was going to show off, Temporal Rift, to rewind. This lets you go back a couple seconds in time, reverting your mana, your shields, your health, any damage to the state you were and the location you were at the time of casting. So this is a great survival tool when mixed with Phased Form, and these, along with the reduced damage and your quick cast speed and the ability to reposition yourself quickly and get out of stuns, you are very hard to kill. And so that's kind of the beauty of Chronomancer. Then as for the build itself, we're using a lot of our weapon set 1 and 2 passives, because our weapon set 2 is mainly centered around using Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm is not only going to make our Entangle and Thrashing Vines grow faster, do more damage, and spread more, but also, because of our focus here, it's going to be applying Critical Weakness. Critical Weakness is just going to be making them take more critical damage, and it basically gives us more critical hit chance and makes them take more critical damage, so it's an awesome win-win. And so as I'm running around casting my Thunderstorm, it's applying that weakness, and it's also buffing all the vines and stuff. All of this will be shown off when I'm running around at Mach 10 in the maps, either before this part of the video or after this part. Haven't decided that yet. Anyway, that's why we have our weapon set skills the way we do, because we're going to be having a lot of our weapon set 2 skills focusing around getting it, like we have all this extra crit and quick chance. This guarantee we're building that extra weakness. And then we were able to use our weapon set 1 skills on physical damage and plant damage, because that doesn't matter to our Lightning Storm or things like Eye of Winter. So that's why we're doing that. It does give you basically an extra 20 points to play with if you use them all right, because with every 1 skill point you're applying them in 2 areas, and the way our build's functioning, it's like as if we have all the skills active at once realistically. It's very powerful. If you don't fully get how weapon skill points work, you should definitely look into them. They can really help your builds out. But anyway, that's the whole point. So we just have all our weapon sets. Skill 1s is all for physical, plant damage, more plants, magnitude of plants, boom. And then everything we have in between is just energy shield. All the energy shield recharge rate. We turned our stun threshold to energy shard shield because we have to. If you're running Chaos Inoculation, you only get 1 HP and your stun threshold's tied to your HP, meaning you'll get stunned constantly if you don't instead change it to have your stun tied to your total energy shield. But it does make you immune to all chaos damage, including poison, bleeding, and basically all ground effects, which also helps with that crazy layer of survivability. That's our passive tree. Now when it comes to gear, we have a couple really important pieces. The most important are our net scale gloves. These are what's giving us a lot of our crit. They're also what's turning off our mana regen, which is kind of funny. Now don't worry, the second you crit something, not even kill, just crit, your mana turns back on, and it regens just fine, as you guys saw. No real mana problems to speak of. So much so that you can almost get away with using a different flask, but I'll get into that in a second. And so here's our gloves. Sadly, they do have really low energy shield, and there's just nothing we can do about it. You do also want to get a 2 slot. One, so you can always have the cast speed, and then you can put res in here. Really, it's a free rune, do whatever you want with it. I just like using it for extra resistances, so I was trying to make room to save a belt slot. Because no matter what with this build, you're either going to want to run an Ingenuity belt to boost the effect of both your rings, or a headhunter, because it's a headhunter. And there's just nothing, like, it's amazing. Next, I'll quickly jump into Flasks and Charms. So here's the setup. I use Blood of the Warrior. I honestly rarely use it. It's basically, you don't have health, you don't really need a health flask, but if you feel like clicking your health flask button, or it's a habit, this will give you rage when you take damage, even if it's not doing much else, and rage is just % damage gain. So it is more damage, it's not much upkeep, you just hit it every 7 seconds or so while you're walking forward. And then for our mana flask, you do have 2 options. This is what I'm using right now because I find it's just more comfortable and I don't have to think about it as much. And I find when I equip the Maelstrom, this guy, I get a little too fixated on trying to always make sure I'm popping it. Because what it does is it spends the amount of mana you're spending, which for us is tons of mana. We're just constantly spending it. We just regen enough. And turns it into extra chaos damage. So just a little extra burst damage around your character. I will have a little clip of me running in one map, but I find I get way too fixated on trying to pop this flask. And realistically, the amount of damage it's adding to your clear is negligible. But it's there, it's fun. If you don't need this for the mana regen, it's like no reason not to run it. You could just run a regular mana flask too. But more importantly is our charms. So Rite of the Passage Golden Charm is going to be your main way of breaking armor until you can get your hands on Utal's Embrace. And ideally you're going to run both. But this right now, if I go check market, is selling for a dumb amount of money. So if you wanted one of those, good luck. I genuinely think it's cheaper to buy the Breach Egg Seeds and just farm Zesh yourself. That's what I did. Have fun. Luckily, the only other linear support you need is for the Siege, which is like 10 divs. Yay. Cool. Anyway, back to these guys. So that's why you want to pick this guy. He's only about 80 divs as opposed to 400 or however much you're going to have to invest into farming Zesh. You can even pick it up for as low as I think 70, and this thing's awesome because it's doing way more than just breaking armor. So, it is giving you Maim, which is helping us a bunch. Whoops, come on, don't fight me here again. So Maim is making enemies move slower and giving them reduced evasion so they can't get out of our entangles. We're getting attack speed and skill speed. So we're getting skill speed, which is basically cast speed, and we're getting movement speed. I like to think of this like a little mini headhunter because it's just going to make you move faster, it's going to make you cast faster, it's going to make the enemy slower and easier to entangle. It's a really nice buff. It'll be active basically constantly because every time you kill a rare mob, it's going to re-up itself for like, how long is this? 18 seconds. So it's an amazing pickup. Another one, Fall of the Silver Axe King, obviously. Onslaught is a Fall of the Silver Axe Charm. Onslaught's amazing. Skill speed, move speed. You get both of these going, it's awesome. And Headhunter can also steal move speed. And these start chaining together and you just start zooming through maps. Like, because if we check my move speed now, I only have 26% because I have boots and I'm wearing gear, and gear like slows you down. I don't know exactly, but I have about 26% increased movement speed with 30% boots. When this is all going, I've seen this number hit 120. You are flying through maps. It's awesome. But the Headhunter is the most expensive, so first get your Silver Axe, it's pretty cheap. Then get your Golden Rite of the Passage. Then pick up your Headhunter. In the meantime, use an Ingenuity Belt. Awesome. That's all those guys. Luckily, this other unique is really cheap. It's badass, like 5x. The effigy of cruelty is like 5x. It's GG's, easy pickup. You don't even need to get a particularly good one. I guess if you wanted, you could even find a 2-slot one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should look for a 2-socket one. But like, it really doesn't matter. You're just picking it up for the apply critical weakness. It does nothing else for your build. Your secondary wand does matter, because you're going to want increased shock chance, because shock is just more damage. Cast speed, so you're getting out those lightning storms faster, +5 to lightning, just because why not. More mana's, that's a dead skill. Percent increased lightning's good, and gain lightning's good. The reason the more mana's dead is because this is only out when you're casting thunder, and so it's really not doing anything for you. For wand set 1, this one's a little more pricey. This is, you need increased physical spell damage, you need crit chance, you need gain mana on kill, you want project or physical spell level, gained as spell, or gained as physical, and spell damage. Ideally even higher rolls than these. I've been thinking about sanctifying this to see if I can get lucky, but my rolls are kind of high, so I'd have to get lucky. But we'll see. I might get it. I might try to craft another one. That's besides the point. Both your rings need to have either reses or cast speed on them, and if you can get some critical spell damage bonus, that helps in spell damage, but mainly you just want cast speed and mana regen if you need it. As for your amulet, you will need spell damage. You're going to want max mana, level to all spell skills. The res and int are super optional, spirit is not. Then for your main hand focus, again, more spell skill levels, critical hit chance for spells is huge, cast speed, spell damage. The energy shield and max mana are kind of optional, but the higher your total max mana, the better your regen is. So mana regen and max mana are similar, although definitely regen will be better for the stat overall, but I find getting more max mana is nice. But you could definitely switch that out for mana regen if you want to make it a little cheaper. Boots generally don't matter, just put as much res on there as you can, and move speed. Helmet you can get critical hit for, so you can get critical hit chance, get that on your helmet. Other than that, reses again. Your chest piece is just reses and spirit. Ideally you get more ES than mine. My chest piece is one of my weaker pieces. And that's going to cover your gear for the most part. Then we can get into the passive skills. So, obviously we have Inevitable Agony, which is just going to have rapid casting, magnified area, effigy. This is just our curse. This is mainly for like bigger packs of rare monsters or bosses. Other than that, we're not going to use it. This Temporal Rift just has cooldown recovery. There's not much else we can put in it. These come from our wands. They're literal dead skills. Don't worry about them. Then Entangle, we have Accelerated Growth. We have Fracturing Fissures. We have Ruinous Siege, which is giving the area of effect, Spore skills have more area of effect and making them deal more damage against isolated targets. This skill entangles, making the targets isolated, so it's just 20% more damage. And more area of effect. Nice pickup. Rapid Casting, and then Brutality, which is just making it do 30% more physical at the cost of Chaos and Element, but we only have one skill that's doing Chaos damage in our build, so that's okay. Which is Thrashing Vines. Concentrated Area, Heft, then New Turtle's Embrace, which is huge. This is giving us armor break for 20% of the chaos damage dealt. We're getting 40% of our total physical damage has gained chaos. So it's just making it so your Thrashing Vines is the armor break button. Luckily your Golden Charm should be doing a lot of that for you, but on bosses or on rough things, or if you don't have it active, no questions asked, and just it's gaining 40% extra damage. It's an amazing skill. But you could just slot Brutality in there, which is gain 30% physical damage without the armor break. So, definitely works. Accelerated Growth, Blindside, Magnified Area. I just put Lightning Mastery in here to get the level up some more. Pinpoint Critical is needed though. Prolonged Duration, just so you don't have to cast the Lightning Storms as much for like bossing and when you're clearing. Just want to click it once and then keep entangling. Bone Storm's your burst. So on bosses that have the Inevitable Agony debuff on them, they're gonna be in your Thunderstorm, so they're gonna be extra critically weak, and you're gonna pop them with your 53%, which will be closer to 70% inactive Bone Storm with almost 500% critical damage bonus because they'll have the weakness, and that plus the temporal damage doubling it should basically one-shot any boss. So your cast is just Thunderstorm, two things of Thrashing Vines to entangle them, or two things of Entangle to entangle them, and Thrashing Vines to break their armor, Inevitable Agony, Bone Storm, they die. Convalescence is your defensive layer. It just instantly starts recharging your energy shield. You will need this, it's your best friend. Cooldown recovery is also your best friend just to get this buff going. Eye of Winter is just basically blind. It picks up whatever's on the ground, so it becomes a physical spell for us. So it gets boosted by our physical attacks, which is nice, and doesn't show up here sadly. And just applies blind and also helps us get more crits to activate Cast on Critical, which is doing Detonate Dead. So as we're going through, it's just helping our clear a lot. Every time we kill something, its body's exploding for even more damage. As we're clearing through hordes like Abyss or Breach or just more juiced maps, it's just significantly helping our clear. And that's all the skills. Luckily, there's only 2 lineage supports, and only one of them's really expensive and not make or break for your build in any way. Really nice, yes, but not needed, especially if you're already getting armor break from your Rite of the Passage. I cannot recommend this thing enough, it helps a ton. Anyway, check out the Mobalytics guide below so you can get more details exactly on how things work. And thanks so much for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. This build's been really fun, it's the most survivable build I've ever had. I can't believe I'm still playing at this point in the league. And see you next time, guys.
Darukan favors me.